Hi, folks. Welcome back. And those of you that are new, welcome. Elon Musk predicts crew SpaceX flights to Mars by 2028. Hopes for self-sustaining city on planet. Musk predicts sustainable human settlements on Mars by 2024. I doubt I'll be alive then. I'm 68 now. I'll be 68 in November. But before we get in the article, I want to say this reminds me very much when I was a boy. And I was 12 years old. I was going to be 13 that November in 69 when my father called me and both of my brothers and come in. They're walking on the moon. It was live. Remember, it was in the summertime. It was really hot out. And I come in and I watched the whole thing. I thought it was cool. But it really didn't hit me as historical until I got older. And before I start the article, I want people to think about one thing. There are people that were alive in 1903 when the Wright brothers had the first sustained motorized flight. And 66 years later, less than one lifetime away, we went from the Wright brothers at Kitty Hawk with the first sustained flight to walking on the surface of the moon. I want you to think about that. How creative and how wonderful human beings can be. We're a mixed bag. We're very creative. We adapt well. We just don't get along sometimes with each other, and history has bore that out. But when we put our minds to it, we can damn near do anything. Especially, and people take this the wrong way that aren't Americans, but especially Americans. I'm not saying that other countries can't do things that are great and wonderful, but America has been the leader in these kind of things. Let's read on. SpaceX founder Elon Musk made bold predictions about human life on Mars in a series of social media posts on Saturday. Writing on X, Musk made the forecasters in response to a post by Bill Ackman promoting a Make America Healthy Again ad posted by Robert F. Kennedy Jr., former running mate Nicole Shanahan. Without our health and that of our children, we have nothing, Ackman wrote. And for those who care about our economy, national debt, and deficits, there is no more important initiative. Musk used Ackman's tweet as a jumping off point to discuss how colonizing Mars would improve humanity. What it is about is guarantees that humans, at least for the next few thousand years, survive. That the human species isn't stuck here on this blue marble, and if things go wrong, whether self-fulfilled or naturally, that's it. All our eggs are in one basket, and we're done. This is a lot bigger than you think. This isn't about Elon Musk and his, whether you like him or not, and blah, 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 and all that nonsense. This is about humans surviving to carry on for thousands of years. The first starships to Mars will launch in 2 years when the next Earth-Mars transfer window opens, Musk explained. These will be uncrewed to test the reliability of landing intact on Mars. They'll send up ships without people on them, of course, to test it. If those landings go well, then the first crewed flights to Mars will begin in 4 years. Now, like I said, I'll be 68. So I was alive, like people were alive in 1903 with the Wright brothers, watched men walk on the moon. As a boy, I watched men walk on the moon and then men go to Mars. That's extraordinary. If you think about it this way, from 1903 with the Wright brothers, 121 years later, in this case 125 years later, we went from powered flight with a canvas and wooden airplane to walking and living on Mars. That's incredible. The entrepreneur added that the idea of establishing a sustainable human settlement on Mars within 2 decades is not out of reach. See, that's the thing with people like Elon Musk. They sound crazy. There's a lot of things people sounded crazy. They thought it was crazy to try to develop the atomic bomb. Now, whether you want that or not, or nuclear power is a different issue. You pick something that seems impossible, and then you go for it. And many, many times, you reach it. It's incredible. Starship X spaceship launches its fourth test flight from the company's Boca Chica launch pad designed to eventually send astronauts to the moon and beyond, near Brownsville, Texas. Flight rate will grow exponentially from there with the goal of building a self-sustaining city in about 20 years. Yeah, Mars is pretty cold, so what they're going to do is they call terraforming. They just got to figure out which way they want to do it. And some of us suggested, like Elon Musk, the polar caps on Mars containing tons of water, tons of it. Their atmosphere is not so great. Setting off nuclear explosions to put debris into the atmosphere to make the planet warm itself. Being multiplanetary will vastly increase the probable lifespan of consciousness. Yeah, because as far as we know right now, there is no consciousness anywhere in the universe. Now, I personally believe that we're alone. There might be some micro bacteria thing. I doubt it, though. I think we are the only planet that has real life on it. And to protect that from going away is huge and important. We also will be no longer having all our eggs literally and metaphorically in one basket. The Starship spacecraft is designed to be a fully reusable transportation system designed to carry both crew and cargo to Earth orbit, the moon, Mars, and beyond. SpaceX's website notes that Mars is one of Earth's closest real habitable neighbors and has decent sunlight. Think about if you were an engineer on the Gemini program. There are 3 programs in NASA before they got to the moon. Mercury, Gemini, and then Apollo. I've seen the Mercury spacecraft when I was a kid in the Smithsonian. And you got to have a serious set of balls to get in that thing and sit on top of a rocket. It takes a special kind of man. And also the engineers, a lot of them are probably still alive when they were developing engineering for the Mercury program. And now they see this. It's amazing stuff. It was a little bit cold, but we can warm it up, SpaceX's website notes. Its atmosphere is primarily CO2 with some nitrogen and argon and a few other trace elements, which means we can grow plants on Mars just by compressing the atmosphere. Yeah. And over time, as we know, these plants will send oxygen and take out carbon and make it more livable. The only thing is, though, it's a little tough adjusting to the lower gravity. I believe it's about 35-40% of gravity we have here on Earth. But as generations grow up, they will become a new type of human being. They'll be Martians. They'll be different than people on Earth, but they'll still be people. Our genes and our DNA will carry on. And who knows what we're capable of after that. Theoretically, you can't go faster than the speed of light. So maybe the wormhole theory is true. We'll have to see. But for right now, barring any catastrophe, natural or self-done, this is the best alternative for preservation of the human species. One thing about Musk, I got to say honestly, the guy thinks huge. He thinks so far in the future, and he thinks about things. He's kind of like Howard Hughes in a way with his money, his FU money, so to speak, and his vision, how he's constantly working. What do you say on Joe Rogan? My mind is going around 24/7, 20 different things at once. But believe me, you would not want to be me. And he laughed, and so did Joe Rogan. This guy is the Howard Hughes of our day. Howard Hughes, as you know, was a recluse and went kind of crazy at the end. But he was a brilliant, brilliant engineer, aeronautical engineer. Self-taught, by the way. Never went to engineering school. Another brilliant mind. If you get a chance to ever see the movie Leonardo DiCaprio plays him, it's called The Aviator. Very well done. Very well done. Great cast. So there he is. The man of, I think, the last half a century, at least. Elon Musk. Now, he's not young, but he's not old either. How many years does he have left? I hope a lot. God only knows what he has in his mind rolling around that he wants to put on paper and then make it a reality. And I don't care. All the progressives don't like him and they hate him. This guy is the real deal. I mean, if he can pull this off, he'll be around in 2044, 20 years from now. I might be, but I doubt it. He'll be around. And so are these younger people that are alive today. And people like me, they might still be there that saw the moon landing when Neil Armstrong stepped on the face of the moon. And I don't want to hear about the moon landing was fake and all that. The engineering and technology has advanced so rapidly. It's a double-edged sword. Look at the internet. Wonderful things for information, entertainment, the works. But it's also, the other side of that sword is it can be extremely harmful if used improperly, like any other technology. It was funny when my father was alive. He was a programmer at IBM here in upstate New York in Endicott, which is right by Binghamton, where I'm from. In fact, IBM was founded in downtown Binghamton on Water Street, right by the river. It was called the Bundy Time Corporation. They're the ones that built the machines where you did the punch-in cards when you went to work and punched out when you left work. And they moved to Endicott and became IBM. My father was a programmer all those years. And I remember he came into my store when I had it. I had a regular desktop, there. And he says, you realize that computer has more computing power than the entire lunar lander. And I looked at him, he says, I'm serious. He goes, not just a little bit more, 10 times more. That's how fast we've advanced. But get back to my point. This is about the survival of the human species. And there is nothing more important and not a goal in the world that beats that. And I wish Elon all the best. I wish the government would stop breaking his balls. Let the guy do what he does. And he does very well at everything he touches. So, in our lifetime, we're going to see men and women walk on Mars and stay there. And children will be born, and they'll get used to the gravity as they grow older. They'll find a way to shield themselves from the radiation, because their atmosphere is basically nothing. Like, we're lucky we have a magnetic shield that shields Earth from all kinds of bad stuff. Maybe they could make one artificially. The technology is almost there. Again, anybody that doesn't look into the future and plan for the future will fail. This guy is a visionary that comes along once in a century. And until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.